Paul, go ahead and get us started. The coach's left.
Coach, I kind of asked Quincy the same question, and I'm sure you would have to go back and review the film and do a bigger breakdown of it. But on the surface, you feel like that was probably one of your team's best all-around efforts tonight.
I mean, it's the first thing I said in the locker room just to the coaches that, we had a stress-free win, this season that I can recall. And it was nice. It was nice to have one. We didn't have a lot of stress. We got off to a great start. The only that they made that running three-point shot there to go into halftime, which took away a little bit of our momentum. But other than that, even considering how liberally we subbed, in the second half, I thought the guys that were out there continued to play, boat-log basketball, and sometimes it can get sloppy that way, and the score goes in the wrong direction. But I really thought that they continued to play and compete, like every coach asks them to when that happens. But obviously, we're about to play, a whole different set of competition and players and coaches and teams. So no disrespect to Alabama State, but, we're going to have a lot of opportunities to see if we can play better.
We'll go ahead to Sam here in the front row middle.
I believe this was the 8th different starting lineup you've had this season. Was tonight just a matchup thing, or you think this is a lineup that you could be going with going forward?
No, it was just we had some lateness with Christmas. We just had some guys that just had some bad travel stuff, and it was nothing major, just stuff that happens throughout the year. So, but the good thing is the other team will know who we're starting going forward.
We'll stay front row middle with Danny P.
Coach, can you talk about Josh as a passer? Because he had some really nice assists for dunks for his teammates tonight.
Yeah, he had a clean game. He had a really clean game. I thought he looked bouncy and fresh and got off to a really good start. And then certainly, like most teams, they started doubling him, and he made pretty good decisions. I disappointed a little bit there early when he didn't handle one of the traps, but if the old coach didn't sub him out, he could have probably had a big number game, but certainly he'll have a lot of opportunities the rest of the year to do that. But I thought he looked really good.
We'll go second row middle to Colin.
We saw Sergey and Achor have some good minutes, and I know they got in some foul trouble early in the second half, but then King comes in and has a breakout second half. I know that's a position and area of the team that you've been asking for more from your guys from. Is that something you've been seeing in practice and then obviously on the court today?
This team continues to grow and progress, and we've really tweaked offensively what we're trying to do and have certain individuals kind of accept the roles that we feel like puts them in their best position, which in turn puts our team in best position. And some guys are doing it, and our offense has gotten better because of it. And, they're similar in terms of, they're in between forwards that can run the court, that can get their hands on basketballs, that could defend a little bit and rebound the ball. Chur is an excellent rebounder, and Sergey is starting to become one as well. And hopefully, that accepting of what we're asking him to do, will still be a positive one for him, because I know it's helping our team. They're not the only two. We have a bunch of guys that are in the same boat. And, accepting that and understanding that it's going to help them and us will be a big deal for us all season long.
We'll go second row left to Robbie, and then we'll swing it over second row right to Brian.
Kind of expand on that a little bit, the roles and guys playing where you want them and all that. I know that you have so many new faces that you're still trying out a lot of guys and seeing how they react. How close do you feel like you are to knowing who you can rely on for a certain amount of minutes and who you can put in certain positions and the rotations that you put out there?
Yeah, it's a good question. And, right now I feel really good about it, but we're not probably going to play, what do we play, 12 guys, 9 minutes or more. That's probably not what it's going to look like. But I feel like we're in a better position now than we've ever been that way. But I still can't tell you, hey, we know these are the 8 or these are the 9 or these are the 10. We're just not there yet. I think the first handful of games will kind of determine some of the individual guys of where they're at playing against this kind of competition, twice a week for, the whole SEC schedule. But we're still not quite there yet. But we're in a better place than we were, that's for sure.
We were talking about it before you came in here. There can't be a lot of games where a team makes 23 free throws but only scores 56 points. It was the the defense in terms of being able to defend, but you were fouling at the same time, is that a concern for you going forward?
No, it hasn't been an issue for us all year long. You know, they made 5 threes, I think, in the first half, if I'm not mistaken, and they didn't make any in the second. And so they were efficient from 3 in the first half, so we were really 2 and 20, you know, can really score the ball. I mean, they can shoot it from the logo. And they got it going a little bit in the first half. They made all 5 of their threes. And so that's really what we talked about at halftime is we changed up their ball screen coverage, and one that we don't do very, very often. It was way more of an aggressive coverage, and it put us in position to foul a little bit more. We had, you know, bigs that were trying to do some things they normally don't have to do, and it's not something we practice that often, but we were just like, hey, we got to try to slow down, you know, 2 and 20. They could get it going, or they can go off for 30, you know, either one of them or both. We've seen them do it on video. So I'm not concerned about that. We've been pretty good in terms of not fouling all year long.
Go ahead, Jacob.
King gives you 14 points. I guess, what did you see from him tonight, and what kind of growth have you seen from him since the season started?
Yeah, I'm happy for him. I'm happy that he had some success out there, put the ball in the basket, had a couple nice drives, made a 3. You know, he continues to grow. You know, he's learning every day, and he's a great young man, and obviously he's got a great basketball body. He's got some pop to him and can knock it down. And so hopefully this will, you know, just continue to be a part of his journey, and hopefully it'll give him some confidence going forward.
Got time for a few more. We'll go front row left to Paul.
We've talked a lot more about Serge lately, and with his play, it seems like is it more a matter, in your opinion, of him getting more confident or getting more used to the college game, or a mixture of both?
Yeah, I would say a mixture of both. I would say more, but they're kind of hand in hand. You know, I don't like to speak for him, but the game is slowing down for him a little bit. The athleticism that's on the court every day, you know, and he wasn't here in June and July, and that stunted his progress for sure. But you can just tell when he's on the court, if you're paying attention to him, that, you know, he's not in a bigger rush, you know, as maybe he was in his first 5-10 games. And certainly when you have some success, like always, that's going to give you more confidence. But I would imagine it's a little bit of both. And we need him. We need him to play his role. And, you know, what I like about him is, you know, he's to the point, getting back to what Robbie said, is I have confidence in him and trust in him of what he's going to do now. You know, I'm pretty sure what I'm going to get with Sergey when he's on the court, and that's why he's playing more minutes. You know, and he'll probably continue to play more minutes because he's so coachable. He's so bought in to us and what we're doing. He's a team guy. And every day he's got the same approach, and so it's been good that way for him and for us.
How do you just feel about the state of the team right now as you enter SEC play?
Well, they feel pretty good right now. You know, it was a happy locker room, and the tone was really good. But they know what's coming. I mean, they know who we're about to play and the gauntlet that the SEC schedule is for all of us. And there's just – it's unrelenting. There's just no breaks. You know, I'm obviously just going to be singular focused on each and every game, but at the same time, I've been through it now 3 times, and you know, it's a difficult thing to navigate, and we got a lot of new players that haven't been through it, and we got some older guys that need to educate them on how intense and serious-minded these games are going to be. But it's that time of the year.
Brian, wrap us up.
You're plus 22 on the boards and plus 38 points in the paint. Coming into the game, was that the scouting report that you would have that kind of advantage in the paint?
You know, we've been really – rebounding hasn't been up to snuff. It's something we talk about every single day, and we've got to do it by committee. You know, Quincy had a great night on the glass. We can't rely on that every single night. But rebounding has to be something where we're not going to dominate in the league like that. That's not reality. But we've got to be able to, like, be in the game that way. You know, we've got to be able to win some, lose some, neutralize some. You know, we can't be getting, you know, crushed in the paint or on the backboard. And our big thing is we got to do it. All 5 got to have something to do with it. Whatever it is, there's always something to do to help on the defensive glass, and it'll be a big part of us going forward.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you Wednesday after Coach Purcell. Yeah, 11:30.